Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. In tonight's episode, we're very lucky to have the CEO and founder of Metal Payments, Marshall, with us. So, hi Marshall.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on, Alex. Appreciate it.
No worries. Looking forward to diving in and explain to people exactly what Metal's trying to do. But in a nutshell, I believe you're trying to smooth out those on-ramps and off-ramps for banking and cryptocurrency and merchant services.
Exactly. I think that cryptocurrency, in its current form has kind of missed the mark. It's not accessible to everyone. It's very exciting, and everybody's watching. We're all watching the game, but we can't really participate. We can't be more active in it because it's just not, there's nothing in proof of work or the current software or incentives to get anyone involved. So I looked at everything that was out there and reasons why people would want to be involved. And you would certainly want to be involved if we could start over and you could be involved in Bitcoin at the very beginning, but it was hard. It was hard to mine, hard to earn. So what's the best way to identify someone and be able to give them something and allow them to participate with crypto, but the existing financial flow of funds, mirroring the existing financial flow of funds and matching that with a portion of cryptocurrency. So instead of telling people cryptocurrency is awesome, now check out this deep end of the pool. I'm going to shove you in, and you will figure out how to swim when you get into that water.
Yeah.
Well, some people won't. In fact, a lot of people will cough and drink some water and have a bad time, or go down the wrong pipe. I'm going to bring you into the shallow end of the pool. I'm going to have some flotation devices, which is POPP. I'm going to welcome you and have it be no strings attached, no stress kind of experience where you earn money just for simply sending and receiving money, doing what you do naturally.
So very basically, people can link a bank account, they can pay each other with crypto, merchants can accept crypto, and they're going to get a 5% reward for using metal as their currency rather than fiat money or other cryptos.
That's right. So getting a reward to participate. So in the past, participation with Bitcoin, with cryptocurrency as a whole, is a penalty. I want to send you some Bitcoin. Well, now I have to learn how to use the wallet. I have to learn how to buy it. I have to learn how to send it. I have to get comfortable with the concept before anything, that it's even money. Yeah. Otherwise, I kind of feel like this whole thing, like the experience is nuts, which is most people's first entry into cryptocurrency is like, this is nuts, Yeah. I'm sure anybody watching the show, if you've gotten people into cryptocurrency, the first reaction is, well, that's insane. That's nuts. Yeah. I want the experience to be like, wow, oh my God, like this is what it's all about. Now I get it. This is so cool. It's money. It's money that can flow anywhere in the world instantaneously. That's so cool and so powerful, but it's not accessible to people. So that's what we're doing with Metal and proof of process payment. It's an original idea. It goes beyond proof of work, which is something that people can't participate into. Pop, which is we want people to pop it, as we say, we want people to pop and watch the price go up or watch it go down. When it goes down, you want to spend, and the merchants, they want to accept it. And when it goes up, you just want to participate more and sign up more people, and you want to tell all the merchants you can about it.
Yeah. So proof of process payments is built on top of the Ethereum blockchain at the moment, but as you guys grow, obviously you want whatever blockchain is best and allows for micro payments and all that sort of thing. And proof of process payments, as you mentioned, tries to iron out the fluctuations in price as well, which is something that you really want if this is going to be used globally. As we know, people are hesitant to call Bitcoin a global currency because it fluctuates so much at the moment.
Right, exactly. We want people to participate and have a good reason to get involved, and we think that currently it's just a bad experience. The whole thing is a bad experience, and so moving away from that penalty to the reward experience, the positive experience. And I think that also, unfortunately, Bitcoin has carried a lot of PR baggage with it, of all this unnecessary stuff. So starting over with Metal, starting over with a message and a brand that people can trust and love, and isn't associated with these negative connotations, but more so positive experiences. So when I say the word metal, you go, yeah, metal me. Yeah, that sounds great. That's exciting. But when I say the word Bitcoin now in public, I love Bitcoin. I came from Bitcoin, and I owe so much to Bitcoin. I use it all the time. But when I tell other people about Bitcoin, they associate it, unfortunately, with maybe not the, some things. And that's the beginnings, the origins of money, when you have that, those beginnings. But, just like the personal computer started, IBM compatible, eventually something came along that really deciphered it all for us. That was Apple. And that moment needs to happen in cryptocurrency. And it's happening right now with Metal. And that's what's so exciting. In fact, we've got a lot of Apple people over here now.
That's good to hear. So the interface will be very friendly for individuals and the basic, the beginner user, but also a big focus of yours is for merchants and that maybe high risk group that banks are a bit hesitant to touch, and that'll be a bit of a focus to begin with before spreading out to everyone. Is that right?
Yeah, we look at cash transactions, right? How many restaurants have you ever gone to that are cash only, or you go to a business that's cash only? In Highrisk, you find a lot of cash only stuff, but then Highrisk on the internet, there's no way to do cash only on the internet, right? There's no way to do that, and certainly you could tell everybody, well, we're just going to switch to cryptocurrency. We're say like a sleep aid that uses ginkgo biloba or something, but because it's not evaluated by the FDA, we're a nutraceutical. So, we have a hard time getting a payment processor. But if you said, let's switch to Bitcoin, well, all of a sudden you lose all your customers because back to the bad experience, no on-ramp thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a platform that can settle instantly into crypto, so I can use Metal to make a cash payment, whether that's at a physical brick and mortar retailer or an online merchant, it makes sense for the high risk merchants, but it also makes a ton of sense for the low risk merchants that are cash only. So you think about every restaurant you've ever been to that's cash only. I mean, that's very powerful. That's really awesome. Very exciting to say, now I can be a cash only business. I'm going to get rewarded to go digital and be cash only. I mean, that's huge. You cut out cash, and it just makes everything so much simpler from a security perspective, from a time counting the bills, managing the money, pick up, drop off, all that stuff. It's just a pain.
Yeah.
Paper cash will go away, and it is going to die. Metal's just helping speed up that process.
Yeah. So you've already had a lot of interest from a lot of those businesses that have already signed on, I believe. You've already got banking partners signed, and you've had some other interest with some high-profile individuals as well. Did you want to touch on those, or?
Yeah. So we've had, I've had the fortune of connecting with some of people that I look up to very much, and two of those people are Bram Cohen and Richard Branson. And Bram Cohen, watched him get involved into Bitcoin. One of the most genius people I know invented BitTorrent, which at one point was 80% of all internet traffic.
Yeah.
To be able to work with him is really a dream, and very excited. And so I connected with him, and he ended up becoming an advisor for us, and has been really great and very helpful. And Richard Branson, I've if you asked me 10 years ago, who are the people that you'd want to work with, I'd say Bram Cohen and Richard Branson. And now it's such a trip for me to kind of be, there. And I got to meet Richard in February of this year at the Extreme Tech Challenge, talked briefly, then went back a few months ago for another event called Changemakers Rule Breakers. And it was really great. I asked Richard, what makes the company, how do you keep the positive energy and that vibe internally and externally? And he told me, it comes from the heart. It comes from the founder, the person behind it, who can really get behind something and explain it, but also show that positive energy to their employees, who pass it down to the customers, and it all comes back. And it really starts with the people in the organization. And then I got a chance, and then he said, so what do you do? Get up and pitch. I got a chance to pitch and talk to him about it, and we really connected. He loved the idea, and then we got a chance to eat dinner together and talk about it and go out on a sailboat, the Necker Bell. And just expressing a ton of interest. He's not an investor yet, but he's just absolutely fascinated with it, wanting to be more involved. So there is some stuff, we're working on some things that I can't really go into detail, but just love the Virgin brand. Some things may be announced in the future, maybe. I just can't say, all right? I can't say.
That's all right.
But... Yeah, we're very, very big fans of Richard, and unfortunately, with this recent tragedy with Hurricane Irma, we're looking to help and be involved in. You never know when tragedy can strike, and so Metal Foundation. That was one of the things that we did inside our company. We set up the Metal Foundation, and this is exactly the kind of thing that Metal Foundation does. Is to try impact positive change, whether that's through conserving the environment and that kind of thing. Also disaster relief, but also education, really focused on education and supporting engineers and developers that want to build this technology and want to grow the idea. And so, we're looking right now into supporting the relief effort and supporting everybody in the BVI, just kind of moving away from some of the other things that we're working on in the meantime. But you will be hearing about some interesting stuff coming soon in the future on that, and excited to talk about it more in detail.
Well, it's great to hear that you guys are helping out with that relief. There's a few other things that I like about the company that show the quality of the team, I guess. The fact that you didn't have an ICO, you raised money through friends, family, and supporters of the business. There hasn't been a lot of hype. I think you're going to wait till the product's out and working well and let the hype build itself. So there's a lot to like in this space that is becoming greedy, I guess we see for a lot of other companies.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I thank you, Alex. I see a lot of it with ICOs. Who's going to raise the biggest ICO? Well, just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you're going to succeed. And I believe we talked about it earlier, but if you can't succeed in this market, you can't build something with 3 million. What business do you have having 30 million, 100 million, 300 million? And the model moving forward for cryptocurrency funding, I believe, is going to be raising in the traditional framework, building an MVP, building a product, finding the equity venture investors to invest in the equity, the shares of your company. And then as you have a final working product, you start to actually close your round. You raise your round from accredited investors, venture capitalists, VCs, and then basically matching those equity investors in token, and then going back to the investors and do another round for tokens as well. And so now the investors are not only have a term sheet, but they also have a token. And this only works for businesses that have a model for a token. You can't say, oh, this token counts as equity. It just doesn't work that way. Basically, this model for the companies, for companies like Metal or for companies like Civic, it does make sense. And I think that the model really is to raise accredited equity, match the investors, and then go back and raise for accredited tokens. And instead of selling all of your tokens for pennies on the dollar and say, ta-da, I raised over $100 million, you can have a lot more than that if you're really worth it. And what I mean by that is you should raise a small amount. You should raise from accredited only, and you should set aside your tokens knowing that if you succeed, your later stage funding will be much, much more than you could have ever imagined. Yeah. And if you couldn't achieve that value, then you should never have raised so much money in the first place. And so I urge all cryptocurrency startups to put their money where their mouth is, take a smaller amount of money, and if you really rock, you'll rise to the top. Yeah,
I agree. So the next thing I guess I wanted to touch on was I've had a play around with the alpha. It's very pretty easy to use. I know you've said the main focus is what's under the hood, even though I found it nice to use. Do you want to talk about maybe Bitcoin and Ethereum and the ERC20 tokens, but what cryptocurrencies you might be looking to add down the line, as well as when that public beta is going to be out?
Yeah. So we've got the public. We have the private alpha right now, which is about to go public pretty soon for everybody, so everybody can start to play around. And I think that it's really nice. I guess you got into it and played around with it, and it's really nice because we're about to upgrade some features. So what you saw, it's going to improve a lot from there. But it's really nice to have everything all in one, place, and to be able to use Bitcoin, to use the other coins, to be able to move fluidly back and forth, and not have to know like, oh, I've got my Trezor wallet over here and my Ether wallet over here. I mean, for the average person, that's just too much. So this is really a great step forward. And also, we've really gone above and beyond the security. We're about to add some security features that solve the telco 2FA takeover attack. So that attack where people's phones were getting commandeered by hackers. And this is a really big problem. It's still going on. Well, we've solved it. We have a solution for it. Moving forward into the future, we're really, really focused on security and how important that is to building trust. And our motto is always act in good faith with full transparency and integrity. And we live by that. So we always come back to that with everything released. After the open alpha, we're going to go into beta, and that's sometime before the end of the year. So I don't like to give an official date. And we're kind of going by the Apple style, which is really, I'm probably actually already saying too much by saying before end of the year. But instead of the traditional cryptocurrency hype, and usually like some disappointment at the end, we're going to go no hype, come out with something amazing, and there's going to be no disappointment. It's going to be just pure pandemonium and excitement. But I'd rather not hype you up on something. I'd rather just put a present on your desk and have you open it and go, oh my God, instead of tease you every day that it's coming, it's coming, it's coming.
Yeah. So the US is going to be the first country, and then obviously UK and Australia further down the line. Oh, looks like we've dropped out there. I'll just hit pause. Are you back there, Marshall? Oh. Reconnecting. Technical difficulties. We
lost each other for 1 second. I'm back.
That's all right, mate. Technical difficulties. So I guess I was saying the US is first, and then the UK, and then further down the line, maybe even by the end of next year, hopefully Australia and other countries.
Yep, Australia, New Zealand. Also looking at China, Indonesia, parts of Asia, also Latin America. Very important for us. We're going to start with UK after US, so we're going to start to break into Europe. After US, and we're also looking at New Zealand, Australia. One of our largest investors, G2 Ventures, actually met on Necker Island, on Richard's private island. G2 Ventures has been supporting us from the very beginning. They're based out of Auckland, and great firm, and they've been pushing us the entire time. Got to get New Zealand, so got to get Australia, and so we're definitely going to be doing that for sure.
I like it. I guess to wrap up, mate, where do you want to see this go in the next 12 months and maybe 5 or 10 years out from now? Where would you love to see metal being used?
I would love to see metal being used. I'd love to hear people saying, "Let me metal you. I want to get some metals." I'd love to go into a restaurant and have them tell me, there's a free beer if you use metal here, right? That kind of thing. And I can see it happening when we talk to merchants and we tell them you can get up to $5,000 a month on Pop. They're like, wow, I'll sign up. So I only get that once, right? But is there any way I can get it again? And I say, no, it's every month. And they go, oh, and that's what I want to see. I can't wait to see this viral explosion of crypto, because we've barely scratched the surface. Apparently, I thought we were at 3 million, but I saw somebody say in our public Slat room and MetalPay.chat the other night that we're at 7 million. Well, I've seen games in the App Store and the Google Plus Store, like video games with 10, 20 million users.
Yeah.
So if we can break into 20 million, 100 million users, man, we can go beyond where crypto ever thought it could go, and I'm really excited to push the envelope.
So just quickly, I think we touched on it, but the 5% incentive for people that are spending metal is $1,000 a month for individuals and $5,000 a month bonus for merchants. And you guys have an algorithm in place to stop people gaming the system and just paying each other. But that's obviously a big incentive if I'm using metal and I'm getting 5% up to $1,000 a month to use you guys instead of other payment methods. So I really like that aspect.
Yeah, we know that people are going to try and game it. We anticipate it. We welcome it. For anyone that says, "Oh well, I'm going to game it," please come and try to game it. You'll find out pretty quickly that you'll be risking your ability to earn Pop. If you do lose your ability to earn Pop, it doesn't mean you can't still use our system. It just means you can't earn, right? Yeah. And eventually, if you do try to game it, you'll have a timeout moment where you'll be put in timeout, and you'll think about what you've done.
Yeah.
And then you'll say, this is too good to lose. I just need to sign up regular people and do what I was doing anyways.
Yeah.
And for those people that learn it, there will be a cautionary tale. I forfeited my $1,000 a month of POVP because I thought I could trick the system. And that's one of the really great things about it too, is that it naturally helps us build our anti-fraud for the merchant processing. So the people that are going to try and really break it and game it, these are the same people that are in a lot of cases going to cause chargebacks and merchant problems, and we get a good profile of that, and it just helps us build our system. So we welcome everyone to come on. Please try and game it, play with it, realize that better than gaming it or trying to break the system is play the game itself. You can always figure out little ways to cheat, but in the end, when you're cheating, you always kind of lose, because even if you cheat a little bit, you don't feel really that you've earned it, and ultimately you will lose pop, right? And so, play the game, participate, sign people up, and it's just the most awesome. It's the Bitcoin experience that you and I have had, and everyone probably watching this show. And if you haven't had that experience, you're about to have it in a few months with pop.
All right, Marshall, well, thanks for coming on. I know in Australia there is actually a bit of hype building around metal, and my friends at Crypto Revolution Investments are very big on this one. So there's plenty of talk on the Crypto Australia page. But, mate, good luck with everything, and I really look forward to what's coming out before the end of the year, and hopefully we talk again in the future.
Definitely. Likewise, and thanks for having me on the show, Alex. I appreciate it. Cheers.
No worries, mate. Cheers.